are you getting a lot of volunteers signing up?
We have a database of around 12,000 people in Alexandria alone. Not all of them are currently active, but for example, the fire department program that we have has around 600 people volunteering in it. There's also the Clean Up Egypt process that I'm not involved as an event coordinator in the Egyptian Volunteer Center, but I'm involved in it by being an Alexandrian by my own, has around 35,000 people in Facebook event in a Facebook event. So I wouldn't say the whole 35 people would go in the streets and clean up, but many of them do have the ability to clean up their own streets, for example.
Also, with regards to graffiti and such, did anyone think about keeping at least a small piece of it just for the memory of it, or for the, when tourists come down, or is that being all painted over?
From what I've seen, it's all being painted over, but I think everybody has a piece of the revolution in their heart. And what is in your heart, it can't be taken or be treated for anything much more precious than just a sign on the wall or something.
Something else we noticed with the Egyptian protests and Tunisia before that was just, it seems to bring the Arab nations together. I mean, there's protests currently occurring in Bahrain, in Yemen, Syria, planning, Algeria, Libya, but you seem like we've been seeing this sort of sentiment of support ever since Ben Ali was ousted and Mubarak left his position. So, I mean, you mentioned that you'd gone out of Egypt for a while.
I'm still in Bahrain, actually.
Okay, so can you give me a bit of an idea of the feeling that's running there when the news came out?
The feeling in all over the Arab world, and I also have friends in all over the Arab world. I've got calls to congratulate me, and there were not protests, but cheering and chanting and celebrations all over the Arab world in front of the Egyptian consulates to show solidarity with the ideals of the Egyptian revolution. It has been shown that we don't care what nationality you are. It's just you're an Arab. It creates an Arab image that we're proud of. Maybe this is what Nasser did in 1950s, but this is with a modern twist, if I might add.
So the pan-Arabism of Jamal Abdel Nasser, the ex-president of Egypt, is sort of coming back, but with a little bit of a twist.
Yeah, if I might add that personally. And I believe this is true because even the slogans of the revolution are transferred from country to country. We see, I'm now currently in Bahrain, and you mentioned it, that there are protests here in Bahrain. They actually they're using the same slogans. They're using even the Tahrir Square. They called a square here in Bahrain called Dawar al-Lulu. They called it their own Tahrir Square. So they're just cloning everything. And I think this is a monumental thing because it shows that it's not just one country that has changed. It's the region that is evolving. Everybody's waking up from their deep sleep and they're trying to gain back their rights.
Well, that's definitely something that's been needed in the region for a while.
What I can call for everybody to try to come back to Egypt, visit us in Egypt. You can even visit Tahrir Square, which is the heart of the Egyptian revolution. You can see where the Egyptian Museum is and where's the collapsed National Democratic Party headquarters is, and live where everything happened, be in the center of what happened, and try to see also the pyramids, which are approximately 10 kilometers away from Tahrir Square. And it will be a fun, cheap trip right now. In Hurghada, Sharm el-Sheikh, and Aswan, there was almost no protests at all. And the tourism got also affected in them. So it would be a great boost to the Egyptian economy, and it will push us forward to the direction that we want to move in. So please come to Egypt and visit the great things we have in Egypt.
Shehab Khashaba, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us today, and all the best for the future.
Anytime. Thank you.
welcome back to our news segment.
In less exciting but equally important news,
Julian Assange, the founder of WikiLeaks, has said that he likes to return to Australia, but has actually accused the federal government of working against him. I think he's a little dismayed because apparently a whole task force has been set by ASIS, ASIO, Department of Defence and some parts of the cabinet, and this is really extraordinary. And he's actually said like he can't believe the Australian government would assist any government to prosecute him, and this is really dismaying.
You know what I find really interesting about this? Australia actually released a warning last week about any Australian wanting to go to the UK.
Why?
Where Julian Assange currently is. Well, America put up their travel alert level and said that the UK is kind of dangerous. There might be possibilities of
Terrorist attacks.
Something like that. And so Australia, when they saw that, they kind of raised the travel alert as well. But if it's so dangerous for Aussies to be in the UK, well, why not just bring back Julian Assange?
I think it's
I just think that Julian Assange is really not about whatever he was accused of doing. It's really about WikiLeaks.
It's politics, I think, yep.
Well, good news for all you guys that like to stay up late and like to go shopping late at cafes, museums and galleries, because Clover Moore is running a new campaign in Sydney City to try and keep the night market going. They're trying to get cafes and shops to open up at later hours. So it's like great for us, I guess. And
it is, because what they're working on is giving people an incentive to stay out that doesn't have to do with alcohol, because as we all know, there's been a spike in the alcohol-related violence. And really, when you think about it, you want to go to the city at night on a weekday or even on a weekend, really. I mean, what are you going to do in the city if you're not going clubbing or going drinking? Not really much to do.
I think we should relay this news to our parents. So if we do go out on Saturday night, we're not going anywhere. We're just going to go to a cafe, Mum.
I know,
well, it's not happened yet. It's just a plan in motion.
Yeah. No, but why museums? Like, who's going to go to a museum at midnight?
I wouldn't mind. I mean, think about people.
Yeah, it's a part of being cultured, Tula, which you like.
No, but the whole point of having things open at night is because people work from 9 to 5. And the shops only stay open.
That's right.
Unless it's Thursday
I think
night.
Australia really does cater for like dull bludgers, bums. Stay home, go shopping, don't work.
But she did say that it's time that Sydney catches the world, and I agree 100%. Because when we go overseas, like people start going out at 10 o'clock and they come back late hours. But in Sydney, I think when people from overseas come here, they're like, "What's wrong with your people? Your shop closes at 5 o'clock."
Yeah,
seriously.
It tends to feel a little bit boring. But yay, exciting news.
The What Factor.